Hello, comrades. It's Premier River, and as always, I am back again every other day. I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I wanted to do something and talk about some things, and other than the goofiness of the map over here, you can definitely see, like when I just zoom in and out, look how it gets goofy, and then when I zoom in, it's a little bit better, but if I'm, at a certain distance, I can also tend to like move back and forth and it goes away. So I don't know, strange. But if we come here and we look at how much it would cost us to purchase things, it's only going to cost us $24 per ton to purchase things here. You know what? I'm going to leave this open so we can zoom back to it. If we come over to this purchase point, which was a lot better than our old one, we are costing $42 a ton. So a pretty significant decrease there. It's, more than a third of a discount. So what I want to do is cancel the purchasing here. We can leave that stuff in there. I don't think it's going to hurt, right? And then I want to come to this guy, shrink that, increase that. Let's zoom back here, right? And then we're going to put him to get all of his stuff that we can from these places. Now the boards, we can discuss the boards. I don't think we're going to use that many boards. And I would rather not necessarily mess with it, right? We're producing our own boards, so there's no advantage with the boards to moving them into here. Other than the construction vehicles won't have to go as far to get them. But either way, we've got to drive this stuff over here. So I'm wondering if we're not better off going from the other place. So I'm just going to see how it plays out, right? But then the other thing we need to do, let me limit the amount here. And we're going to take wood down to 0. This is our first medium storage on this. Yeah, and I don't see any real reason to change this, the overall amounts. So we'll just come in here and purchase the minimum. We have enough money, right? And I did select dollars, yes. All right, so we're just going to purchase bricks, prefab panels, and steel from here, or 2 here. That'll take a good chunk out of our wallet, but again, we'll use the stuff up eventually, and it'll be cheaper. So now I did have a number of comments. We're really not ready to do too much here. Let me close this, and we'll go. I'll go set it up like I normally do when I'm sitting here waiting, which is to take this guy and put him over here. And you can see we're working on, these are the things we're working on now, is road 188. So we're all the way up to here. We're just about to crest the hill, or at least hit this last hill. So that'll be great when we can, and I'm reasonably certain, almost positive, that we will be able to export things with this gas station in, which we got in last episode. And then I've just been plugging away at these things. So you can see I put the large construction office. I attached these roads up, so we're working on the road to the steel mill. We'll have to talk about when we actually start building that. But think about it now. When we have these tons and tons of things that we need to buy, 241 steel, right? That's going to be a lot of steel that needs to be, brought over here. So that's kind of good. And it's like what we're saving 16 or something like that, 18 per every one of these. So that'll be a good savings. And then once we get this going, we won't have to purchase steel anymore, which is far and away our biggest construction expense. And then I've also got them hopefully working on this. Now I still have my 2 construction offices. These guys don't have a bus, right? So if I come here and we can open this guy up, right? This is the one that has all the buses and 1 mixer. For what it's worth. Getting concrete in here. I think we're going to build these things first, right? Because the same is going to be true of cement and bitumen. So I think we're going to get all of this fired up before we start trying to work on, well, we have to work on other things because we have to build this whole town. So I guess the question is, now that I'm thinking about it, is it better to get at least this little bit of town going? Because we're not going to be able to produce steel without those people anyway. Or do we save the money by buying these? But then if we don't have people, it doesn't really do us any good. So I think we have to build this little bit of town before we can even fire up the steel mill and before it's worth that. But having said that, it's probably worth putting in a bus stop up here, huh? You know, thinking about it, that way we can just divert people to either of the 3 different places we'll have up here. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, I don't know that there's a particular better place for it. Just kind of in the middle of all 3. I can see it's going to attach to our... All right, so we'll get a bus stop in here. We'll get that worked on as part of the flow of things. There we go. And then this is just the story of it. We get these, you know, the only thing, because we don't have any people, it's only our equipment that can work on this, which is good, because then when we do need people, we're not taking them from the production of the alcohol or the food, right? So the people are just sitting in here waiting to go to do alcohol. Then when we actually need people to do construction, the bus comes up and picks it up here. Now, I'm probably going to do something along the lines of like a big shuffle to take these vehicles out of here and put them in the new construction office whenever it makes sense, right? Because it's always better to have everything close to where you're doing the bulk of the construction. Now, this Reverville large construction, we might just leave the same until we get people into here. And then the first job these people will have, besides taking care of themselves, will be to do the construction on the steel mill and the other things. So we'll just try to get things built very slowly. But we also need this firehouse to get going too, right? Because otherwise, certainly don't want to build a steel mill before we have a firehouse. Let's put it that way. And a good, well-maintained firehouse at that. So I think I can, just on that note, because since I last recorded the last episode, I think getting this has just become a bigger priority. We have 2 entrances to the firehouse. Why don't we get them working on that? Now that'll slow down. Every time I click on one of these things, it slows down to some degree getting this road done. And we're down to 81,000 in rubles. I was thinking about it. We're so close now, if we had to, I'm pretty sure we can take out another rubles loan just to glide us across the finish line. But I'm hoping, I don't really see us needing to buy a bunch of vehicles based on, the current situation, where we should be good to go. And, yep, so there we go. So let's close that. We can leave this open just for my future usage. And we're talking a lot about the logistics in some ways when we talk about that construction. And I got a number of comments over the past videos. It may have been a little while ago that you left your comment, but I'm definitely listening. And when it came to setting up the food, you guys, like a lot of the comments, I feel like, and again, it's I'm glad for all the comments. You don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I don't always explain, and I didn't even necessarily know until I got Dennis's comment that we were going to definitely do a distillery. But it was certainly in the back of my mind to do distillery, clothing, anything that we can use the crops with. But in any event, what I was doing is setting this up so that we had a buffer. So yeah, we have 88. So to me, this is perfect. And I keep an eye on this one location, and it tells me my overall food. Am I exporting too much? And I have made some slight adjustments to how these things are going, and will continue to do so, because I just come over here, I look at this, and I say, oh, okay, well, we're dipping a little bit low on food. So what I had done was I don't know if he's in here or not, but yeah, there you go. This truck, I took him off of exporting, right, so that he goes quicker. And I think I said that in the last episode, but at the same time, I did get a comment that said I shouldn't have 2 trucks over to here, and that may be true right now. Like, this guy's going to leave, and then how much does this guy have in him? See how they even do this kind of thing where the one truck takes priority in unloading. And if I only had 1 truck here, when I had this, maybe there was more population at the time, like they can't make the round trip to get from there to here before they run out of food in this. It would be nice if they had a bigger storage area for things. And maybe there is a mod out there that does such a thing, but the fact is I need this second truck to make sure that these people get food. Now you might say, well, you've taken so many people out of this town that you know, you really probably don't need to do that. They're not using it fast enough. The round trip would work. But then you have to deal with my addled old mind and the fact that I'm going to forget and that we're going to grow this population again. Isn't it really worth taking these trucks off and to have this guy go do what? To save the price on buying another truck to export alcohol or something maybe? But at the same time, I don't... you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just you're getting into a little bit more micromanagement when at any moment this population could be growing and we need the second truck, right? So for me, and especially as your cities get bigger, like sometimes I'm willing to put up with having 2 trucks sitting here. They're not costing us anything extra to sit there, right? And if they only make 1 truck's worth of trips, then it's the only real waste is that we have a truck that's not doing anything. And hopefully we'll get to the point in our little economy here that the purchase of 1 truck either way, or 20 trucks for that matter, isn't going to kill us and prevent us from continuing. And the same's kind of true of these other areas. You know, I've gotten comments about driving, you know, how do we drive the lumber back? And I think sometimes you guys watch, it feels to me like you watch the first half of the video and don't, and I don't blame you guys, and don't follow up that, well, wait a minute, like 20 minutes later, I have this truck sitting here and he's just sitting there with wood, and I am just bringing wood directly to here. Now we have like this guy who's the construction office, and then we have like these guys that are just coming right back. No, he's a brick construction guy, but if we come up here, we might be able to catch one of the... Yeah, there goes a lumber truck, right? So he's exporting. So now he's going to... Yeah, see, this is... I almost want to catch one before they get up there or after. Here, you know what? Now that I've caught this guy... Let's see. There's none on their way back. Is that another one? No, that's probably an alcohol... Yeah, alcohol truck. Good. Another alcohol delivery to the border. Like to see it. Yeah, I'm not really catching... You're not coming back. Not your construction office. So maybe once this guy, well, we could start setting it up, but I want him to go to the. He should be there in a second, right? Where the heck is he? Oh, there he goes. Yep, he's there now. So why don't we just take one of our lumber exporting trucks and see if we can't just start putting some lumber into here, kind of slowly but surely. All right, so I'll come over here, do this, delete that one. We'll stop going to the customs house. We'll tell them to come here, unload wood. And then sometimes I'll even, you know, if I really want to ramp up the amount of wood that we have over here, which, you know, I don't know. Let's go take a look. Let's go, how much more wood do we need? 28. I mean, we could use a fair amount, right? New vehicle type. Make sure that wasn't a fire. Yeah, we're probably going to need a fair amount of boards when it's all said and done. And we're going to be getting to construct over here, you know, fairly quickly. So maybe let's go see how many trucks are going in and out of... What is this guy? We'll leave him open because we know he's... I'm not going to change him, right? He's good to go. Now, by the way, if he's waiting here, he probably shouldn't be going to the customs house because, right, he's going to be... empty every time. Yeah, now that I think about it. And there's always room for those little kind of improvements. And when I say I'm just sitting here watching the construction go by, like, I do tend to look at these things, you know, somewhat regularly. Now, this is our test truck. Okay, we probably could give him a different name. And then this is the one we already had open. All right, and then we have this one. Yeah, and this is the one that I think I would like to give, without messing them up too much. Let's give them this one's route, right? And we need a new name. If anybody has a suggestion for our Steel City, I won't call it Stalingrad because I'm not a personal fan of the man. So there we go. And so they'll wait there, and when they start clogging up the works, right, if we come here, then I know, like, we're full, and you know I don't want the truck sitting there so construction vehicles can't get in or out. Right, if we come back up here, now how many do we have? 3? No, we only have 2 parking spaces. So if these 2 trucks are both sitting there, they're going to block up our construction. but that's not good, but it's kind of good because then you know to go back and switch it over to export, right? Like, or maybe we'll just have one truck sitting here and then the other one can get back to exporting logs. So there we go. So yeah, let's close these. And how are we doing on the construction? Take a look at that real quick. So yeah, road. Yeah, see, so we haven't delivered. Well, no, we were delivering over here. Yeah, the only other thing I've been checking, well, I've been checking a lot of things, but just checking to say we're up to 309. It might benefit us to, well, we really want this to fill up, but at some point I now know that I need to, we're delivering this gravel to here. Now, it's probably worth, I don't think I'm going to do it right now on camera, but it might be worth, if this is going to be less than $24 to just have it imported to here, I have to question how much it's costing per load to get it to there. It's probably pretty similar to what it costs to here, which was, I forget how much. I'm going to have to think about it when I'm not trying to talk, but I might just import the stone over to there if I think it's going to be cheaper. Might even set up a test truck to see how much it costs. And I probably have a piece of paper around here that tells me. But I think it was only like, what, 150 or 200? So let's just say it's 200 to drive stuff there, and we get 12. You know, that's going to be... so it's going to be like $10 to $15 per ton for us to drive it there. Plus, we're not paying for the import, and we're keeping people busy. Yeah, so I think it's going to be worth taking and at least putting like one truck from here to go to the next place once we get it built. Right? And then once we can buy more trucks. I don't want to, if we don't need them, I don't want to buy too many trucks. So there we go. So what else do we need to look at? Well, let's just take a real quick look at our people and then our economy, since it's been a little while since we did that on camera. So I've been bringing people over to here whenever it makes sense. So you can see these numbers are going up like fairly well, because I do want to get our alcohol and our food going. And I'm not sure if I did this in the last episode. I think I mentioned it, but we're up to 70% going to making alcohol, and we're still keeping up with the food fairly well. But if there's a reason that we're not, it's just because we're probably taking people at this moment over to these constructions. But as long as this warehouse stays full, right, then we're okay. But really it's not, right? So I might consider taking this back down. Let's just do it a notch for now. I don't know if that'll make much difference, but yeah, I think we want a little bit more food. Now the other thing we could do, yeah, you know what? The other thing to do is to export a little bit less of this, right? So we're going to take that, and then this guy just needs to, once one of these other trucks moves, he'll flip out of there and go over to the distillery. So I don't think we need that truck at the distillery for the most part, like, because this guy just came back and he's, you know what I mean, it's only 2, but we're probably better off not trying to export that food. And let's just see if that little change I made in the manpower is the reason we're not getting that there, right? So, like, in other words, one less truck competing for this guy's attention. This guy's bringing food, you know, to that warehouse. There'd be one less truck taking it to the border ahead of him. Yeah, so we have 8 workers, so unfortunately we're filling up this export truck first. I hope that doesn't tend to be the trend. That could be another reason we're getting a little bit low, is because if every time an export truck pulls in here, if it starves this guy out, then it makes it harder to balance things. Okay, so anyway, I think we're in pretty good shape with the food and the alcohol. Yeah, let's see if that holds true here. So if we take a look at this month, we're minus 32,000, but there we go. Western countries, steel, 32,000. So if you want to know why I'm pushing towards a steel mill with all due haste, even to the point where I'm almost making mistakes to get the steel mill going, this is the reason. That's, all of our other expenses. Let's see, what does it say for this month? I know, well, we're in the 22nd, so like we've got 9,000 or so. I'm sorry, 11,000 or so from other things, and 32,000 in steel. So that's why I'm really pushing to get that steel going, because even if we save a few bucks on the delivery cost, it's still just a massive thing. So without having spent money on steel, let's just look at this. Well, we did, even with spending all that money on steel. How much have we spent this year? 51,000. And fuel is 40,000. So fuel's a competing thing, and we definitely want to get a refinery going one day. Remember, we can't export until 1985 because of my self-imported rules, or self-created rules. So I'm not in a huge hurry to get to the fuel, but that is definitely going to be something that we want to do. And let's go back out here. So yeah, so if you look, I mean, we're plus, right? Other than when we do construction, which is really the balancing act of this game when it comes to your economy. How much construction can you do? If we come to domestic, supply, this is a nice, once you start getting your economy going better, then this starts becoming a really nice little tab to take a look at once in a while. We've got all of our production, not what we're exporting, but the things we're making, we're worth 150,000. And then if you add up all of these numbers, then it gives you an idea. Like, even if you're not exporting it, but you're building up a stock of things, are we building up a stock? Well, I can almost say no, but let's just call this 50,000 and this 60. That would be 110,000. We'll call that 35 or 30, whatever. 145,000. And this would be another 20,000, so that would be 165,000 or so. I do wish they'd give us a sum of the overall here, if that makes sense. So we're using $15,000 or $20,000 more worth of goods so far this year than we've produced. So we're going into a net negative, and you can look at that, relatively quickly and easily at this point, right? And why is that? Well, 61,000 for constructions. If we click on here, see, look at that gravel. 30. We've used more gravel than we have steel. Just to give you an idea of why I built that gravel plant. You wouldn't necessarily think it. As much as the steel is killing us, the only reason gravel isn't killing us is because we're making our own. So that's really saving us a lot of money this year. As far as our whole budget goes. All right, those houses seem pretty happy a second ago. Let's just see how these guys are doing. Yep, happiness. Yep. Every time this one gets up to 40, I've been taking them out. If this one, yeah, you know what? I think I'll even take a few out of here. This one's not. All right, I want to keep, this one's where the school teachers are, so I take a few less, and then I just sort of, this one's got 45. Now, at some point here, I'll stop doing this so that I don't cause plus 21s, but we can get another wad of them in there. And then that way we got that many more people hopefully going over to our alcohol. And at some point I have to make sure that the percentages are good. Like, so I might increase the number of people that go to the bus stop over there. But other than that, Riverville's pretty happy. Let's take a look at our population statistics, and we'll click it on this year so you guys get an idea if you can see it. We're definitely, we had a lull, and but we're definitely on the rise again, which is good. One of the comments I got is that, oh, you really did a hard start, which I appreciate the recognition that I'm definitely trying to make this a hard start. And they said, I always start with 1,000 people, but keep in mind you have to feed those 1,000 people. Like, in some ways, it's better to start with the 400 or whatever exactly we had in these couple houses, because I've not been feeding 1,000 people yet, right? So that's a good thing. That's and yet the populations grow, and there's going to be some times, I think, when we have a want for people, but at the same time, we're doing all right. I mean, I would like more people, but if we had more people now, we would be paying for them, and then we'd have plus 21s who aren't really doing anything, and that kind of snowballing effect. So pretty happy with our population. I did notice that we had some escapes, and I'm really not 100% sure. I did come over here and cuss out the sports thing a little bit. Now, good. At least we got somebody in there, but it's just really frequent with these football playgrounds that we don't have enough staff in there. So I'm kind of curious to see. We did build another football thing up here, a modded one, which seems to, I don't know why it already has gravel showing there. Do you see that? Did it shouldn't have gotten finished. It's almost like they didn't put that stage in here, of the first initial stage. I don't know. Like, there's no way. There's no connection. I mean, the roads aren't even built up into there yet. So it worries me sometimes with these mods. Like it just worries me. It's not. I mean, I guess it's always the mod maker's fault, but at the same time, maybe they just didn't realize they did something wrong, and it just, anyway, hopefully nothing that we do here like crashes the whole map into little tiny pieces. And so is there anything else? We did the population. Let's talk about the price of steel and inflation real quick. And let's just see, what is steel up to? So steel usually starts out, I don't know, at like 350 or 375, and it's now up to like 720. A lot of times I just use the number 400. So all of the money that we have now, if all of these were to go up at the same rate, and I really need to probably figure out whether they do or not one day, then our money is worth not quite half as much, but close to that, 40%. Or I'm sorry, it's worth 60% of when we first started out, right? Depending on exactly how you look at it. Keep that in mind, because a lot of people, when it comes to purchasing vehicles, they get very excited about, oh, you could stock stuff up, but with the inflation, it really doesn't necessarily save you anything. You're better off just using that money to build the next industry, which is going to have a positive, no doubt, influence on your exports or the lack of imports, right? So I'm going to keep going. I think I've talked long enough and done almost nothing. But I hope those explanations help you guys, and that you understand better the trials and tribulations that we have in New Riverstan here. So, all right, great. And if you have any questions about that, and I do appreciate your comments. So anything I said is my opinion, and have fun. That's all. Just go out, have fun, micromanage your little town to your heart's content, or not. Set things up meticulously, or proportion things however you would like, and just have a blast. That's what this is all about. If you find out you're wrong, change it. That's what I do, right? Anyway, all right, guys. I'll see you in a little bit. I have used my powers of supreme authority to suspend time in our kingdom. We have just gotten the fire station built. It's been quite a while in the game. Like, I don't know exactly how many months since I stopped, and I was thinking about something as I was looking at this. If this burns down, we lose an awful lot of stuff. I probably, we're saving a few bucks, but we're also taking the chance that this were to burn down. So I think we need to come in here. I'm going to check. Nope, can't get any American stuff, which is okay. I think there was a mod someone suggested for a Pierce fire truck, but I am, and always do, tend to get the fastest truck we can get, right? This one and those two are both the same price, but let's get a regular fire truck. I feel like that should be the first one that we get. And then let's go all the way down. I just want to get this going like ASAP without time rolling forward, because it's been making me nervous. Now we have 2 buses right here, and I don't know if that's going to be enough, but what I would like to do, like, we know the buses can carry people that far, right, is get them, let's get rid of their old routes. See, these guys were going to the fire station. We're going to do the same thing as we were doing before. They were going from Reverville to this fire station when we needed them. Now we're going to have them come from here. All right, and then we'll electronically zap up there. And then we'll have them come here. Let's just set this one up to load. And we'll start this one ASAP. And now the question is, should we really get another bus in on this action? And I'm kind of thinking probably that we should. We want to let this bus get ahead a little bit, so let's start time back up again. And then, yeah, let's go to this one. Right, and I think it's just for the extra security, it's going to be worth. Now, I think there might be an American bus. 23,000 carries. Yeah, it's a nice bus, but it's like way more than we need. All right, where this little micro bus, 2,000, and I think that's enough to keep our firehouse happy, right? All right, so now let's, what do we want to do? We want to take copy, right, and then open this one. Now, how far ahead do we let these guys get, right? Where is this guy's the one that's on his way? Where are you going? Why does it feel like he should have been further along than at this gas station? I didn't start anybody else by accident, right? Let's move this guy over so we got them all on the same side. Now, do we have... Oh, you know what we need to do? Get in and out. Yeah, I don't know that we need to do it, but I will. Oh, you know what? He might have driven up there a bit. Yeah, and this guy didn't fix this one. Again, I really don't know if this is even necessary, but it makes me feel better. Right, I guess when he... How far is he going? I think maybe when he gets most of the way across the bridge there, I'll start him out. We'll give him another second. Yeah, we don't need that open anymore. And then how's our construction doing? So the things that we've been constructing, and I've been prioritizing, making sure this project gets as much of a priority as anything else. And then there's these other roads that I've been building. And now that we're going to get our firehouse, hopefully with some people, that's kind of good timing. Then I feel better about moving some trucks into this construction. And also, what do you call it, to like just have protection for this. And then we'll also get this warehouse built next. See, I was building that road, and we got this guy waiting there building this road, which gets us to where we can get to our quarry here, which hopefully we'll get some people living here fairly soon, and then we'll be able to fire up these plants. So it's going well, and this is one of the reasons I like to micromanage and not just have it auto construct. I guess this guy's probably far enough along. We can start the next one. Let's see, where is he at? Yeah, probably not quite long enough, but we'll make sure the other guy waits a little bit extra long. Let me... Are you started already? No, you're not started. All right, let's move this one down. Just go back to those so I can micromanage that a little bit, and I'll shrink that. All right, so we'll have buses coming from here, getting firefighters in there. We'll get this construction going. Now, the next thing to do, without disrupting things too much, is to see about getting the flatbeds moved over here. Probably means we want to move the cranes over here. All right, and then the mixers, not yet, because they're still closer. They're kind of in between. And then once we build that warehouse over there, we can move the covered hall over there. And then as these road projects get finished, what I'll do is I'll move the bulldozer and the excavator over to here as well. So this guy needs to get moved into a thing, doesn't he? Okay, good. Oh, didn't mean to close him. All right, so let's go. We can zap back up there quicker. Oh, that's not up there. All right, so we'll do... yeah, Darn graphics thing. Once it gets straightened out, it sort of is straightened out, right? So there we go. So we should get some vehicles in there. Because the flatbeds, all the stuff is right here, it's probably better to have them close to this. Plus, as a general statement, it's going to be close to where we're doing all the construction. And then as soon as this is definitely what I'm going to work towards, is this aggregate storage to get the gravel here. I'll start switching trucks over. Let's see where these buses are. This guy's still, we'll wait a little extra long for this guy to get over there. It definitely feels like a long time, but then I've mostly been doing fast forward when I haven't been talking, and as opposed to normal time flow. Things are going well in our cities. I haven't really checked in a little while. Our population sort of has stagnated a bit. I think, were we up near 900 or I don't know. It really hasn't. Let's do this year. We're in January. Let's do last year. We can take a look. It's always nice at the end of the year to see how things went. See how we kind of stagnated at the end of the year. And I think that's just another die-off. Nothing to panic about. Nothing we could do too much about. And usually that means after the stagnation ends, we get another big boost, which hopefully our timing's good, because then we can, we'll have to start moving a few people over here. I might even need to build a few more houses over here, because those aren't huge houses at that point. So, where's this guy? Okay. Well, let's start the last one and hope the timing is good. There we go. All right, so hopefully we get some firefighters. There should be a guy already on the road. Yep, there he is. Did he get some? 7. Yep, so good. So we'll have some fire people in there, and my anxiety level will reduce at least a bit. And so we're just waiting. I'll get these roads completed. I will really focus, like I said, as soon as this road's ready to go, I want to be right on top of it, getting this section, right? Is that the last? Two more sections. And I think I did say this. Sorry, my brain. I did buy another dumper and put them on the task of working in this thing. So we now have 4 dumpers running stuff back and forth. My debate is we just don't have that many rubles, or else I'd probably buy a few more. But yeah, we just don't have a lot of rubles, because I'm still not 1,000% sure that we're going to be able to export with no issues, right? So until we actually export something. Now, I did want to point out, by the way, with our increased people, at the beginning of the episode, I switched to truck, just one truck, took them off of exporting food, and we're now, we're still, each time I've looked here, we haven't had any trucks sitting here, so we're exporting that much more quickly, 50% more. And let's see how our food's going. Our food has gone up a little bit. It sort of goes up and down, but so, you know what I mean? As we balance things out, get more people, I can ramp up these productions and slow them down as needed. And at this point, because populations aren't stable, it's just, going to be good to, we want to keep making enough food, but at the same time, we also want to make as much to export. And we're doing pretty well. With a little extra micromanaging, we're doing quite happily. Now, how are people over here? 56, and I like to keep that kind of high. See, now this one's got 43. That one's got a 10. It's been a while since they've had 10. So what I want to do is, let's see. Again, I don't want to max these houses out. 136, 128, so we'll put 10 more of them in here. All right, just sort of keep maximum number of people here, and eventually we'll have to move them up to here, which, yeah, we'll see. All right, well, there we go. I think that's enough of an update. I will come back when anything exciting happens, and or we are ready to start building, and we'll keep taking out loans as I have. Oh, that's, is one thing I wanted to mention. If we look at this loan thing, one of the things I don't like about it, and I know there's some people that have comments. James seems to make many comments about the loans in particular, which is fine. If I take a 5-year loan out, it costs me more money. That's like the opposite of real life. I don't know why they would have done that. it's penalizing you. The reason banks give you a lower interest rate for a 5-year versus 1 year is because they know they have your money for a longer period of time, right? Like they can use that money and make a profit off of it over 5 years. Where if you have a shorter term, they tend to charge you, a higher interest rate because they it's more paperwork. It's more, they can't have that money as long. They can't make as much money over the lifetime of that loan to cover their costs of having the loan, right? Because it does cost them money to make the loan itself. So, and for that reason, that's why I'm doing 1 year. I would happily do 5 years if we got a lesser rate, but why pay for 5 years when I can just keep repeatedly borrowing money at a 1 year term, right? Like it costs me less interest overall. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. Not that big a deal. I keep an eye on my dollars and I just keep reborrowing at the lower interest rate and just keep paying back the other loan. It's if you're going to do loans, that's why take the higher interest rate. I don't know why. I mean, other than the amount that we're paying per month being ridiculous, right? Like, so if we only did I don't know, what's the least? If we did half a year, I mean, it might be just such a pain in the ass to just keep going and doing it. So like a year, they're taking $2,000 a day, whatever it is. I forget. In any event, whatever that works out to be, yeah, I think it is about 2,000 or 3,000 a day. Depends on exactly how much, And then, in other words, it's working out fine. I don't know why we would do it any different, given there's just a penalty for taking out a longer loan. Like, there's no penalty, it seems like, to repay them that I've noticed. So yeah, just, within the bounds of micromanaging, it's working out great. All right, well, let me sit here and stare at this. Oh, look, we got another road done. Which one was that? It's probably, yes, this one. So I want to get right on assigning this one. All right, so that way we can get in there and start building this. And then our bulldozer, oh yeah, where is our bulldozer? Now's a good time to switch the bulldozer. All right, he's driving himself up there anyway. So let's get him to here. I don't know where he was driving to, but now he's there. Now the problem is we have to start assigning this guy, don't we? So now we got 3 that I got to balance out and make sure everybody's going in the right direction. So, but that's good. It almost gives me more control. Like now I can say, okay, I want you to work on, well, if I can get the, maybe I can't. Come on. Oh, I don't want to do that. Sorry. All right, and then we do have to do this thing. Let's do it together. All right, so, well, not gravel. No, steel. Where are we at? All right, so steel, bricks, prefabs, boards. And if you look here, we only have open halls. So that's what we would get out of this storage. So when we do assign it, now again, like I said, now I got to keep track of 3 of them, which really is not that big a deal. Now, is our bulldozer? No, he's up on this road. I mean, our excavator is up here. So, all right, so I'll move that excavator over, and then I just need to, redo who's working on what to make sure everything's getting done. Just gets a little more complicated. So whenever I want to send people, I use the Reverville one here. Do I want to send people anywhere? And then the main one has been this, which will switch over. It might not even use that large construction office, this one, very much, right? So let's see. We're just working on roads. Is there any building I would work on in lieu of a road? Well, now we have the firehouse. Do we have people? Yes, good. We have people. And I really need to get some roads constructed. Yeah, so we'll work on that road. Start working towards getting people up here. And in the meantime, I'll just keep working on this as well. And then this guy is now assigned. Oh, yeah, don't auto search. micromanage you. Yeah, so that way we can get this guy to go right where we want him. Right, and then as soon as I need open halls, I can switch them over and get them assigned to whatever of these buildings I pick next. And then once, most likely these, oops, did I close it? All right, most likely these two, Reverville and Ziplastik, will probably be assigned pretty close to similar times. All right, so there we go. So let me keep going, and we'll come back. Like I said, when something at least minorly exciting happens to finish up the episode. I tell you, some pretty exciting times. I'm just kidding. But we did get a warehouse done, and we did get a aggregate storage. So I would like to straighten out those things. Let's start with the warehouse, because why not? What I would like to do is actually come to this warehouse, take a look. In all this time, we never actually used the mechanical components that I had originally purchased over in this one. And if you look, I emptied this one out, and I'm thinking that, you know what, the electrical components are probably fine to sit here, but why don't we just drag the mechanical components from here over to the new one, right? So I want to come in here for now and just, when it comes to purchasing with dollars, just cancel that out. So we'll just leave those electrical components here. There's only 3.7, but these things are expensive, especially the mechanical. Well, both of them are expensive, not especially either one. So what I want to do, just for the sake of that task, oops, it's in the large one, right? Now my covered hall, well, let's see. Yeah, there's my covered hall in this one. So let's take this guy. I'd have to send him all the way down. I really need to get another road depot, but I'm just trying to hold off on buying anything. So when this guy gets down to there, we will give him a route that will be to take stuff out of this warehouse and bring it over to the other warehouse, right? Really, right now we're just working on some of the roads, which is fine. Let's get those done. And then, you know, we'll have them bring the stuff up to here, and then we'll set this to purchase. Now, what I want to do is limit the amount and see, let's come up here and put it 100% on corn, which will never drop off here, right? And then just see, can we, there we go, 2%, right? So that's probably about as little as we can get it to. So once we drop off those mechanical components, I might have to increase this. Yeah, you know what? I think I have to put this over 10, right? And then we can shrink that back down, right? So that all of them get moved in. And it should only take that guy a couple trips at that point. And then we'll set this thing to purchase. That way we're purchasing the very least amount that we can for the sake of our money. Speaking of our money, look, we're down to 50,000 rubles. So I think we're in good shape. If you want to, sometimes the visual, we're 66% done this stretch of road right here, which is why I'm not in too big of a hurry to get more stuff, you know, assigned. Because like once I assign this one, that's it. We are at the border with a proper gravel road. And you know, one of my rules is proper gravel roads. Oh, good, look, we even got another dump truck coming as we watch. So we should get real close. Is just the speed, right? Like this will, I'm really hoping, and the next episode, I think, is when we will do a test. I will come back as soon as that road's completed, and we will do a test from this distillery all the way over to there. But in the meantime, what I would like to do is talk about switching. We have enough gravel in here to last us a little while. And I want to, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a pain. Right, I want to go take all of these that are going to Reverville. All right, let me distract myself. Nope, that guy's still moving. And, right, this guy's construction office. Just, you know what, I'm going to pause this because otherwise it keeps like putting new ones in there, which confuses me. Right? Yep, this one goes from Reverville. There should be, I think, 3 or 4. Those are construction. Reverville. What are you doing? You're construction office. And you're that one. Right? I think I got them all. Let's just check one more time. All right, so let's close all the construction office ones. Oops. I didn't just cancel a job by accident. I don't think I did. All right, so now what we want to do is take each of these trucks, and we can start time again now that I've got them all caught up, and without causing too much of an issue for them, I want them to start dropping off in here, right? So I want you to go here, unload your gravel, stop going there, right? Now, I'm not going to have them wait at this point, though. You could argue that I should, but I think we'll be all right. Let me just shrink that one down. And all right, we'll do the same thing with this one. Good. And once again. And that's it. So now the question is, once we do that, like once we actually get some gravel in there, what I'll do is I'll switch and start putting the dump trucks in here. But I'm very likely to switch another dump truck. If we look at the large construction, we have 4 dumpers, but I think we'll put a 4th one on bringing stuff from all the way over there. It won't take them that long. Might even put a 5th one on here once this road gets done. All right, but in the meantime, they can go back to that other one over here. It's, you know, because we still have stuff, even though we won't be. That's plenty, probably, to get that whole road done, or pretty close. So I'll kind of micromanage that. And as far as other things go, I'm really not that happy with our firehouse here, though. It's like hit or miss whether or not, like, see the bus, like, see, and these 2 buses are like back to back. So it's really making a priority out of getting these roads done. So that's why I've been building these. I mean, I've been building everything, but, you know, just try to get things done. So let's do some footpaths. Let's see what makes sense. So this guy can come out to here, right? Why don't we bring that guy out to kind of match? And then this road's not done, but then I'll be able, well, you know what? Yeah, I think we'll. Does this make? Well, no, you know, I don't think. Let's not worry about that. But we could do like this. Right? That means these guys are going to come to here. They won't have a real good way in there. All right, so we can get these footpaths done for them. Just, you know, I deleted them so we could build our thing, and then I don't think we even need this road to be built, but we'll. There, we got this footpath, so now we can assign this guy to here, and this guy to there, right? And like I said, eventually we'll just start doing all the work out of the steel mill area, and then whenever these guys get done, and I need people to work on something, and so I've been just watching this fairly closely, and say, okay, are we ready to go? What is Octagon Biofuel Plant? Is that a biofuel plant I put in there? That doesn't... Wait a second. All right, you know what? Let's pause this for a second. Let's go to construction, mod, residential. I thought we had residential. I certainly don't want to build a biofuel plant. Did I somehow really mess up? Or is that thing mislabeled or something like that? Yeah, you know what this is? I can't move that up. It's getting off the screen here. Yeah, I don't know what... Well, at least we didn't start building it. I mean, we built the little road there, or the little footpath, which is annoying, but... I don't know what I did. All right, now do we have a modded house that would fit in there? That I don't see anything. All right, so you know what? We're going to not build a biofuel plant there. We're here. All right, and then we need to get rid of that footpath, and then we need to go find a house that we like. Footpath getting rid of tool. All right, and then that might change what we do with these, so we'll have to see in a second here. But let's, hopefully this doesn't attach to that darn, we'll probably play time again. I think we'll just go maybe with regular construction building, but like maybe something a little different than we've been building. There's nothing particularly, I mean, it's just something with less steel versus more steel is probably the order of the day, but they're all pretty much the same steel. Prefabs and bricks, you know, there's really not, I mean, we could just put like a big set of flats. Why don't we, yeah, these are some of my favorite. Need flat terrain. It doesn't get any, see, we're getting into this. There we go. Zoom back out a little, I hope. Yeah, you know what? I really don't want that to attach like that, but I can't stop it because the devs don't think we should be trusted to not have it attached so many times. Really don't even need road attachments in particular. Let's go back to road. All right, let's get rid of those. At least it didn't attach on this side. That's when it's real annoying, when it attaches and messes up your plan. Yeah, so I think what I'll do in the long run is maybe we just cut right across this building. All right, and then let's get rid of this for now, and then we'll attach it up when we're ready. But at least that sort of makes some sense to get attached, right? And then, yeah, these people are going to need to get to the firehouse, but I think they'll be fine. We really need to kind of get this road done, don't we? Make it a little easier for them to get in the firehouse. And then we need these guys to do this, this, and this. And then, because they'll bring gravel up to there, but we can get our playground going, get our school going, get our, the only thing would be a little abandoned. As soon as this road gets done, we can get the university built. And I kind of think we'll have everything there to start moving in some people. You know what? I'm thinking again. Dangerous. At least, even though I'm having these issues, at least it's not really causing problems, right? So what I think I'm going to do, and I might do this in between the episodes, yeah, let's do the brick flats, right? And these hold, how many? Yeah, 189 workers. Can we get it in? This is what I was wondering. Nah. Can we get 2 of them in here, though? If like I got this one here, as tight as I can. Nah, I'm not going to be able to get 2 in. Maybe we do a different size. Right? But see, I think I'll put these in well, we could do like this. Right, are you trying to attach in the back? Yeah, you are. So, like, I'll put, like, 2 of them in here, right, facing each other. Or, you know, does that make sense? And then I think that'll be good, because that'll be 250 workers or so. And that'll be even better, maybe, than that other one to get started. And then we'll look for a mod to do something a little fun with these houses, but good. So, the next thing I need to do is also, well, now this guy really doesn't need to be assigned for a lot of this because it's really more about assigning this guy. Okay. Yeah, you're just, all right, these are the ones that need to go because they have actual people. And then I just need to make sure we're on top of that. You know, like what other building can we build here? Nothing here, but maybe up we can get this bus stop going. Right, and then I've been assigning like this guy to work on buildings, and then I'm debating. I think we really should, you know, build this conveyor to these 2 things, but there's no real hurry for that. But we could get, yeah, I mean, we can get to working on those as well. Like it all sort of has to happen at the same time. But yeah, and I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet on the cost of those conveyors. You know, I don't have a road to this, do I? No, I think I was. Can I do? I can't really see with those trees. Now I'm in the. No, I can't get under there, but can I get? Come on. Yeah, it's not quite far enough away. All right, we'll just do. I didn't want to make another junction there. I thought it would look a little better, but we'll just have to do something like that. But there, then we can get to that conveyor. Yeah, and I'm guessing. Well, let me let all, like, this is quite a bit for them to work on, and I'll get these guys. I already did. You know, I just need to go around and bus stop. You know, just get each thing done. None of it's that critical to get done any faster than anything else. We'll let this road get completed. Probably, maybe even this one too. Right, just so that when we attach it, it doesn't become 72. And like I said, everything really needs to get going at once. We get people in, we get the bus stop. We can start getting this stuff being produced up this way, which will really save a lot when we have 484 tons of concrete that we need to make and 113 tons of asphalt. So that'll save a lot of driving back and forth. We'll just bring the gravel up here, which kind of need in this area anyway, right? So, you know what, let's store this item, gravel. And then hopefully we'll get that going. And there we go. So, like I said, I will probably come back right after, the hill messes me up, right after this road gets completed. We're 89% done this one, and then we'll do a little bit of a test, and we'll see how we are at that point with our city and our constructions. But we're getting really close to being able to do a steel mill. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this. I put a little tiny fuel station here because these guys were having to drive either all the way up to there or all the way down there to get stuff. I called this steel mill area a really poor name. If you guys have a suggestion, let me know. And then I just called this Octagon Town, just because that was sort of the name of the last episode. But if you have a suggestion for Octagon Town, be happy to hear it. There we go. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. We will come back, and I don't know. I don't think we're going to build a steel mill in the next episode, but we might. Right? We might be ready for that. So we might be talking about how these loans are going, and that's going to be our last hurrah as far as loans, right? Like, we're going to get up to, let's see, let me show you how the loans go. And I almost said goodbye. So right now we're at 834. By the time this gets down, typically I've been paying back like 750 or 770. So if I add another 500,000 to that, we're going to be at 1.3 million. And once we start borrowing that amount of money each time, it's going to be even more interest, but we'll have a steel mill, right? And it'll give us a little bit of a buffer. We can take this up to 2 million. So we're, you know what I mean? We'll still have a buffer there as long as we're paying it back quick enough. And I think we will once because we can start exporting steel, and that's a real big one. So let's see. I know I'm walking a tightrope here, but I think we're going to be in good shape. All right, guys. Well, again, I always hope you enjoyed it. And by the way, one last thing. If you're the disliker person, I've got one person seems to be disliking, please leave a comment, especially if you're the kind of person that makes it to the very end of the video, right? So, I mean, if you're watching the whole video and then disliking it, I'd like to hear all your comments, but it's kind of funny when you get one dislike out of 35. So, anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.